Hey there, my name is Przemek and this is a kind of double feature Fluttering Dragon video. Today we'll talk about two new releases from Fluttering Dragon Records. Northr, the Catastrophe of Self-Destructive Mentality, and Hexmyr, Öde Verser. I hope I managed to record this video without any problems, because I think I caught a cold, so there might be some sneeze breaks, but if so, I'll cut them in the editing of this video. Anyway, I have already talked about the resurrection of Fluttering Dragon in the previous videos, in the Newsflash series, and in the review of 63 Days, and the reissue of a series of vinyls dedicated to the Warsaw Uprising. Of course, apart from 63 Days, we also got completely new releases from this Warsaw-based label, and what a surprise, these are albums of Scandinavian projects, as Scandinavia has always been Xak's favorite destination when looking for new acquisitions for his label. And as I said, these albums are Northr, the Catastrophe of Self-Destructive Mentality, and Hexmyr, Öde Verser. First of all, Northr, a project that was born in Norway, but to be precise, we must say that the artist behind this project, Jari Woldberg, was actually born in Netherlands and moved to Norway a few years ago. But as I understand it, this particular name of this project, Northr, suggests that we should treat it as a Norwegian project. Okay, some things don't change: death, taxes, and Fluttering Dragon's attachment to the artwork of their albums. Because look at this Northr album. First, this cardboard box, which looks like this. Inside we have this digipack. And also the sticker and the poster, which is, look at this. Okay, I need to back a bit. Very nice, let's be honest. But now let's focus on the concept of this album for a moment. Let me read the manifesto inside the digipack. Where is it? War, genocide, global warming, the rise of fascism everywhere, while the rich prevent any form of trying to fix our problems because it will affect their bottom line, while we are at the brink of total destruction of our species, and perhaps the planet as a whole. And most people don't care. A self-destructive mentality that will lead to a global catastrophe. These are dark times we live in. Actual more than ever. It speaks to me, especially while reading and watching the news, as if Jari was trying to tell us through his music to come to our senses before the worst comes. But at the same time, he had very little hope that he would be heard. And you know what? It's probably a coincidence, because I noticed it myself just now, incidentally, but the name Northr can be treated as an abbreviation of Northrop Grumman, as if Jari, with all this anti-war concept, decided to name his project after one of the tycoons of the warfare industry, like kind of bitter sarcasm, you know. However, I think it's more of a coincidence, and my looking for symbols where there are none. The music on this album evocatively resonates with the somber concept. This is a Scandinavian dark ambient in all its glory. Even though Juri's passport shows Dutch nationality, you can clearly hear that after moving to the north of Europe, he was imbued with the Norwegian spirit. Because the first thing that comes to my mind after listening to this album was the thought that I haven't heard an album like this for a long time. Very cold meat in sound, more than any recent albums from the still active classics like Raison d'être or Desideri Marginis. That this is the spiritual air of the famous Roger Carmanic's label, and that if this label still existed, North would probably one of its flagships today. But there's no cold meat, there's Fluttering Dragon, and thanks to this label you can enjoy the catastrophe of self-destructive mentality. Although enjoy may be a bit an awkward word in this case, let's just say we can experience this album together. Despite the Scandinavian feel, the very first track, Bush Planet, I don't know if I read it correctly because this font is not very clear. Bush Planet, okay, makes me think of Asmoroth, which is actually a French project, and there's this melody with a very Asmorothian vibe. But apart from that, a bit of early Desideri Marginis, a bit of early Raison d'être, the projects I mentioned before, perhaps a bit of Sephiroth even, and a bit of his own Northr sound, of course. The music, well, drones, some gloomy melodies, a few rhythmic fragments, all made with taste and good craftsmanship, and the album breathes with an atmosphere that is both eerie and elegiac. You know, as if you were in ruins of a city destroyed by war. You felt horror seeing the death and the destruction, the ashes of a once beautiful city ruined by a pointless terror, and at the same time you feel reflective of all the life, laughter and love that had been swept away and reduced to ashes by 50 megatons dropped from the sky. You know, this album operates on these two levels, both in a very suggestive way. Sorry, it's impossible not to notice that despite the familiar sounds and references, this album sounds quite fresh and captivating, and in my book it gains with each subsequent listen. There's a lot of great dark ambient projects around nowadays, but I have to admit that I missed this particular sound. Good, very good work, Northr. I always have to check this title, The Catastrophe of a Self-Destructive Mentality. Yeah. The second album we discussed today is Hexmyr, Öde Verser, a Swedish project, of course, led by Thomas Östergaard, who also creates dark ambient as Östergaard's. What a surprise. Actually, I don't know which project is the main one, which is the side project, and if it has any significance. Anyway, Hexmyr, here I read from his Bandcamp. Hexmyr is named after a small lake, Högsmyren, near the village where he grew up in Sweden, Edsbyn. The name roughly translated means the witch morass. And Öde Verser is his only material so far, which was released on a cassette in a very limited edition in 2020. And this is how it looks like. A nice digipack. There's also a vinyl version of this album available to get. And the title, Öde Verser, means deserted verses in Swedish. And here we are again dealing with a very personal concept of the album. Let me read word for word what the musician writes about the idea of his release on his Bandcamp. It's a reflection of the physical destruction of the artist's homeland, especially around the Norrland area, specifically highlighting the devastated forests, abandoned factories, the countryside communities denuded of population, and the after effects of uranium mining, along with rivers that have been drained, the exile of indigenous people, and the consequent rise in the suicide rates. So, yeah, even Sweden, for an outsider like me, seeming like a country that cares about environment, that is liberal and taking care of minorities, that even Sweden has its internal problems on a smaller or larger scale. I won't go into this further because, well, I'm not Swedish. Honestly, I've never even been to Sweden, but it might give you food for thought. Nowadays, probably no country is a paradise on earth unless you go on a holiday for 2 weeks to Bali or Mauritius, all inclusive, this kind of stuff. But Northr spoke and warned about more global threats, and Hexmyr talks about them on a local level. However, the music is something on the line crossing between dark ambient and death industrial. These are tracks that crunch and pulsate with subcutaneous turbulence, but never openly aggressive. Cold Meat aura is also very present here, but more on a death industrial side, Megaptera, Inslaughter natives, maybe some of Nordvarg work. It's all grey and colorless, just like this cover. You can actually see the air you can breathe, you see and feel this carbon monoxide or sulfur dioxide, permeating your lungs, and you hear these bulldozers that are about to come and destroy everything that nature has created over tens of thousands of years. All this in the sake of progress, hooray. It all sounds really bleak and hopeless. You get sick and tired of everything when you listen to this album. And I'm not saying this in a negative context, because that means this music simply works, and overall it's a short album, and excluding Östergaard's 18-minute dark ambient remix, pretty good one, by the way, with a Kammerheit vibe. There are only 3 short songs and 2 even shorter interludes. All in all, I'd say it's a kind of extended EP, and that's actually a good thing. This dose of such music is enough. I recommend both new Fluttering Dragon releases. Again, Zach has not lost his ear for interesting projects. I support both projects, Hexmyr and Northr, and of course the label, and I'm curious what they will offer in the future. Okay, thanks for watching and see you soon.